This is Becca, the Aquarium Director at the South Florida Science Center Aquarium. Hope you guys are well and being safe. Today I wanted to talk about invasive species. So we have a couple here that are doing great damage here in Florida, and the first one I wanted to mention is elegant, beautiful, and exotic, but she shouldn't be here, and that is the Pacific lionfish. So these guys have taken over the Atlantic. They are here to stay, unfortunately, and I just wanted to briefly discuss why they are such a huge problem in Florida. So, as you can see how beautiful they are venomous though, so you do not want to mess with these guys. They have dorsal spines full of venom sacs. Each individual spine has a venom sac in it, but that's not what I want to talk about today. I want to mention why they're a problem. So, these guys actually have no known natural predators here in the Atlantic because they're not from our ocean. So literally, they have a seafood buffet awaiting them and nothing is attacking and eating them. This fish has actually been found at depths of 400 feet. They've been found in extremely salty water, also in extremely low saline environments like brackish water. So they can live in many different types of environments, which is also a problem. One female actually can release up to 2 million eggs, one single female in a year. So they are just rapidly reproducing here. And on top of that, they have a ferocious appetite. So these guys actually they can eat up to 30 fish. Actually more than that. In a 30-minute period, they can eat up to 75 fish. And their stomach can actually expand up to 30 times their size. So they can fit a lot of food into their bellies. And that's a problem because they're actually wiping out our native fish populations, like groupers that are already over-harvested and overfished. So that's a huge problem for us. On top of that, we're not eating them a lot because they are venomous. People are afraid to go out there and kill them. Like, so high-end restaurants are serving them. Sometimes I see them at Whole Foods, which is encouraging. But because they do have those venomous spines, a lot of people aren't eating them. I have been told I don't eat seafood personally, but I have been told it's a white, yummy, flaky fish to eat. So I encourage you to go out there and hunt and eat these guys. All you do is take kind of like dog cutters and you can cut off those spines pretty easily with those nail cutters designed for dogs or cats. And then you can eat them, then they're safe to eat. But yeah, these guys actually are causing a lot of damage to our native ecosystems, and we're finding them as far north as Rhode Island now, and we're saying within the next 5 to 10 years they'll be as far south as Brazil. So that's a problem. They're just completely taking over and they're here to stay. Another animal I wanted to talk about is we're gonna kind of walk on over to this area. I'm going to still tell you a couple other things about the lionfish while we walk over here. Is they were introduced back, we believe, when Hurricane Andrew happened, back in 1992. We believe only just six lionfish got released into the environment, and from there that's all it took. And also we do believe irresponsible retired aquarist home enthusiasts actually released these guys into the Atlantic Ocean as well, not realizing they were introducing a Pacific fish to the Atlantic. So that's how we believe it all began here. And similar, there's another animal I want to talk about, and that's the Burmese Python. Similar to the lionfish, we do believe in 1992 when Hurricane Andrew, which was a Category 5 storm, hit Florida, there was a breeding facility for pythons in Miami, and countless pythons were released into the marshes. And that's how it all began. That, and on top of that, there was a very flourishing exotic pet trade at the time, and it was actually legal to buy Burmese pythons as pets. And so irresponsible pet owners over the years have been releasing these guys into the Everglades. And these guys are a problem because similar to the lionfish taking over and having no known natural predators, Burmese pythons are Southeast Asian snakes. They have no natural predators here in Florida. So what's happening is they live in this perfect environment, a muddy environment that's nice and warm and tropical, which is exactly what it's like where they live. So no known predators, and they are actually decimating our animals in the Everglades. A lot of our smaller mammals, like our raccoons, our bobcats, our foxes, our rabbits, have all but disappeared. And that's a huge problem. And even in drought season, which we have every year here in Florida, they can bury 8 feet under the mud. So even though we're encouraging people to go out and hunt and kill these guys, they're very hard to spot in the Everglades without having a helicopter or a way to access a lot of these muddy waters. It's very hard to spot them. And so we don't even know how many there are. We are guessing there's probably tens of thousands, but we actually think there could be hundreds of thousands. And similar to the lionfish that can lay up to 2 million eggs, one single female of the Burmese Python can lay 50 to 150 eggs per year. So that's bad. So we actually hope when we do have people out there killing them that they're catching the females more than the males, because then we're making more of a dent on their population. So those are two invasive species here in Florida that are really problematic. It actually costs Americans $138 million a year trying to tackle invasive species. And believe it or not, we actually have more than 500 invasive species between animals and plants here in Florida. So that's more than anywhere else in the world. That's a problem. Another one I wanted to talk about is right behind me here. That is this guy right here. He's cute and cuddly and we love him. He's a Mayan cichlid, but they also don't belong in our waters. And once again, we do believe it was irresponsible pet owners that released these guys into our canals. And similar to the lionfish, they can handle all kinds of temperature fluctuations, and they're decimating like small populations of fish or native populations of fish, sorry. And that's a problem. And so these guys are taking over. I mean, we're finding them in all of our canals around here, and they are not from here. So that is another example of an invasive species. So I hope you guys learned a little bit about invasive species today. I have much more to talk about. We can get into the venomous aspect and poisonous aspect of creatures that we have here in the aquarium next week. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.
Hey everybody, Christian here. I want to just thank you for watching our content. If you enjoyed, please make sure you hit that like button down below. Also, as you guys know, we are going through some very tough times, and our hearts at the Science Center goes out to everyone that's been affected by this coronavirus outbreak. And as most of you also know, we are a nonprofit organization. We rely very heavily on live programs as well as admissions in order to keep the Science Center lights on. So because we're not open, we do need your help. If you enjoyed our content, please consider hitting that donate button down below and giving anything you can. $1, $5, any amount will help us continue our mission to open every mind to science.